What up YouTube, RotoCat Gaming here, bringing you another cryptocurrency related video, and today I'm going to be talking about the my top 5 most annoying things about GPU mining. I got this idea today because I've been running around the last few days just troubleshooting, planning, doing all these crazy things, and as much fun as I have mining, with my equipment, I also put in a lot of work and a lot of headaches, throughout the whole endeavor. So decided to come up with, hey, my top 5 most annoying things. Don't worry, I'm gonna come up with a top 5 most, amazing things about GPU mining. But right now, this is what's on my mind. So I want to, discuss this with you guys. All right, so let's get down to it. Made a nice little presentation. I call it nice. I don't know how nice it is, but we'll see. All right, so here we go. Alright, so this is my face most of the time when I'm troubleshooting. Alright, so the number one thing, computer restarts. Man, so you get your rig all set up, all nice, you're mining away within 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, a day, boom. It restarts. It could either just restart the program or the whole computer can just restart. And the number one thing that I find for my particular case is bad overclocks. Sometimes when you have different cards in a rig, you might apply the same overclocks through and through all of them, but not all the video cards are the same. Or if you see online tutorials and stuff like that, even my videos or whatever, you're like, okay, I'm gonna apply those settings, blah blah blah. And your computer's constantly restarting or it's not working out. Well, every computer is different, and once you find the proper overclock settings for your card, or for one particular card, then you move on to the next, and now you have a working rig with no issues. Another thing, if you have computer restarts, bad equipment, risers, cables, stuff like that, it's hard to troubleshoot sometimes, but they could be the cause of restarting or bad power supply, and that's not a very joyful endeavor to actually hone in on what's causing the problem, but it happens, and that's pretty annoying when it comes to GPU mining. Everybody just wants to, hey, I'm making money right away. No, it takes some time and effort. Another thing that annoys me, and excuse me, I consider this my top 2, is circuit breaker tripping. So in the US, we got this box, our circuit breakers and everything is out there, and sometimes it's just tripping constantly. So there could be a bunch of things, and throughout my mining career, right, I find that overloading that circuit is typically the culprit. Another thing is you got to be aware that, hey, even though let's say you're using a spare bedroom in your home and you're mining in it with just one computer, you got to be mindful of other electronics or whatever you have in there, whether you have motors or TVs or whatever. They're going to add up eventually. So if you turn them on, that circuit breaker is going to trip. Number 3, this one takes some time, and if you're a proud person like me, it hurts you, right? Because you didn't make a bad decision. But the silicon lottery realization, I call it, is whenever you're pushing all these overclock settings on your card, you're troubleshooting, but they just will not cooperate. So you didn't win the lottery. And everybody online is having these wonderful cards, and they're pushing 20,000 million megahertz, and they're getting 5 trillion terahashes, right? And you're like, what the hell? I only have 20. What is going on here? Hey, all these online resources, i.e., myself, YouTube, or whatever, you're trying to copy and replicate that, and it just won't play, it won't go well, and you're wasting hours, you're trying to push, but sometimes it's just not there. You didn't win the lottery. I have some video cards that are just not there, and it hurts a little bit because you're like, hey, you're leaving money on the table, but that's just reality, and it's just hours and hours of troubleshooting and trying to figure it out. But hey, that's one of the most annoying things, come to that conclusion. And like I said, I just post my experience, so a lot of people just go on YouTube and try to copy the same thing. I'm a victim of that. Like when I get a new card, not a victim, but I copy the same thing. I just, I don't want to do some research. If somebody's already done it, boom, I'll just put those settings and kind of deviate up and down from it. And that's typically what I do. I don't try to say, hey, whatever those settings that guy used, that's what should apply to my card. That's not the case. Different manufacturers, different processes, all that stuff, so it's never the same. Some mileage will vary. All right, another thing. Number 4, not having enough spares. Man, you're troubleshooting, you built your card, you know, your mining rig, you got your cards already, blah blah blah, and all of a sudden one of them doesn't work. Well, you just bought 6 GPU risers for 6 cards, but how do you troubleshoot it? How do you do this when all the other ones are utilized? Unless you take them out and you go one by one, yeah, you can do that. But if you have spares, you can just plug in and swap and do all that stuff. Risers, power supply cables, anything you might need. If you have spares, it makes it easier. So that's something that I didn't do initially. Now I have a little bit of extra peripherals and parts, and it makes things a lot more straightforward for me and a lot cleaner in my troubleshooting. And that's something that's annoying at the beginning, but if you plan for it, if you have enough spares, you'll be all right in the GPU mining world. And the last thing is motherboard settings and limitations. Man, I have wasted so many hours because I don't necessarily just buy one motherboard. I kind of been piecing together my mining rigs with old equipment and stuff like that. So a lot of times, if you want to jump in right away, you're thinking, okay, this motherboard is going to be working right off the bat. That's not the case. If it's particularly on Windows, you got to have the right setting on your BIOS, and if you don't, the Windows might only see just one video card, and the others they might not even show up at all. There's a bunch of things that you got to go through. The online resources on forums and things like that, they're really great resources to see, okay, am I setting the right setting? Am I messing in the right menus? But the older motherboards, man, they're a little tricky because their wording and their categories, they might not necessarily match, and that's what happened to me on my previous rig build that I did, and it took a lot of troubleshooting, a lot of headaches, but I finally got it. But I did acknowledge that it was pretty annoying, and that's about it. I mean, don't have anything else other than thank you guys for watching. If you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree with me, let me know, and let me know if you have any other items that are actually pretty annoying, because even though it's great, this hobby is annoying, pretty annoying at times. But I am coming out with my top 5 or top 10, top 20 things that I love about GPU mining. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I did it before. That's why I'm gonna keep doing it. And yeah, let's see when that video is gonna come out. I still gotta whip up a few ideas. Anyway, I appreciate you guys clicking on the video. Y'all stay safe and have a great day. Peace.